One Piece is a very amazing and legendary anime that's been on air since 1999. This show's filled with many memorable scenes and iconic moments. So, we've come up with a list of the top 10 legendary moments from One Piece. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And let's get started. We're starting the list with the moment when Shanks stops the war. The fight in Marineford still rages on as Trafalgar Law arrives to rescue Luffy. Sengoku fights Blackbeard, while Akainu fights the commanders of the Whitebeard pirates. Even though the Marines clearly won the war, they still fight, and many die around Kobe. The voices continue to fade away from his mind. For a few moments, he bravely stops the war, and he's about to be killed by Akainu. Shanks arrives, claiming that those seconds of courage have changed the fate of the world. Law and his crew take Jinbei and Luffy inside their submarine. As they're both put on the operation table, Buggy yells at Shanks for lying about the treasure map. When Buggy's cooled down and praised by his followers, Shanks threatens that anyone who's willing to continue will have to face him and his crew. Blackbeard decides to leave. Shanks then declares that Ace's and Whitebeard's dead bodies should be given proper burial by the pirates. It's cool how Shanks just arrives and stops the war, telling both sides that further fighting is fruitless and will only cause more bloodshed. Next up is the moment when Sabo gets the Mera no Mi. The scene takes place during the battle for Mera no Mi in the Kurita Coliseum to claim the devil fruit after Ace died. Luffy originally wanted to enter the competition, but Luffy becomes occupied with chasing the Shishibukai and Sabo under the disguise of Lucy and enters his place. Sabo destroys the Coliseum with his Dragon Claw fist, Dragon's Breath, before leaping at the fighting fish bearing the Mera no Mi and claiming the devil fruit. He takes a bite of the Flame devil fruit. It was very satisfying to see the power of one brother being held by another brother. Ace's legacy got transferred to the right person. I believe this is precisely what Ace would have wanted. On number 8 is Rumbar Pirate's last concert, which we saw in Brook's flashback while he was entertaining Straw Hats in Thriller Bark. Rumbar Pirates were Brook's original crew, and they were all very skilled in singing. Rumbar Pirates were sailing through the Grand Line with Brook as their captain. They came across an enemy who poisoned them, and as they were dying, Brook suggested to his crew that they should play one last song that would be recorded on a tone dial. Since he would be revived after death, Brook promised them that he would take the dial and play it for the Laboon to hear. They all eventually died while Brook got reanimated as a skeleton. He keeps the tone dial in his body in the hope to play it for Laboon. Brook resolves to finally keep his promise to Laboon and return to him. The number 7 spot is held by the scene where Zoro faces off against Mihawk, and Mihawk uses his smallest blade to fight Zoro. Dracula Hawkeye's Mihawk is a world-famous pirate who holds the title of the strongest swordsman in the world. Zoro meets Mihawk early on their adventure. Roronoa Zoro wants to battle with Dracula Mihawk, hoping to earn the title of the world's greatest swordsman. Mihawk doesn't take him seriously and pulls out his necklace sword to fight Zoro. Mihawk turns out to be more powerful than Zoro could have ever hoped to imagine, and he's easily bested. While Mihawk does not take him seriously, but the strength of will Zoro demonstrates greatly impresses him, to the point that he draws his real blade Yoru out of respect. While Zoro suffers a defeat, Mihawk promises that he will remember his name. Mihawk destroys 2 of Zoro's swords, excluding the Wado Ichimonji. Zoro was established as a very strong character up until this point, and his loss to Mihawk goes to show that we still have a long way to go before defeating Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world. On number 6 is Luffy punching a celestial dragon. Celestial dragons are the descendants of the original 20 countries that banded together to beat the Great Kingdom and form the world government. They've become infamous for abusing their power and enslaving everyday people for both their convenience and entertainment. This scene happens in the Sabaody archipelago. Cammy is captured and is to be sold in auction. Luffy and his friends arrive to save her, and Hatchin gets shot by Charlos, a celestial dragon. Luffy gets angry and punches Charlos, sending him flying. It's an amazing scene, seeing Luffy stand up for his friends who are otherwise discriminated against. Next on the list is Luffy vs. Sanji. Sanji's heading to the Whole Cake Chateau with his family. Luffy and Nami reach Sanji, and Luffy wants to take him back. However, Sanji kicks Luffy out of the carriage, claiming to have accepted his royal heritage. Luffy refuses to believe Sanji and is unwilling to leave his friend, causing Sanji to confront him and attack him with Diable Jambe. As Sanji beats Luffy, he refuses to fight back or retreat, and Nami pleads with Sanji to stop, to no avail. Finally, Sanji knocks Luffy out with a spinning midair kick and returns to his impressed brothers. Luffy regains consciousness and calls out to Sanji, saying that he knows Sanji is putting on an act, and each of his attacks caused him more pain than they did to Luffy. He claims he will stay at that spot and not eat until Sanji returns, as he cannot become the Pirate King without Sanji. This causes Sanji to break down in tears. It's a really emotional moment.
Sanji! お前がいねえと、俺は海賊王になれねえ!
Taking the number 4 spot is Oden's death. Kozuki Oden was the daimyo of Kuri in Wano country. His execution is called Legendary Hour. Oden returns from the sea to find Eiichiro became shogun and is oppressing the citizens with the aid of Kaido. He gathered his retainers, the 9 Red Scabbards, against them. Oden and the 9 Red Scabbards were all captured and punished to be executed by boiling. Just before Oden entered the pot, he suggested a wager to Eiichiro. If he and his retainers could survive a set amount of time in the pot, they would be set free. Oden completes the challenge. Despite this, Eiichiro decided to break his promises, and the firing squad pointed their guns at Oden anyway. After telling his retainers to open up the country for him, he helps his retainers to flee to Kuri before dying. It's a very emotion-filled scene to see a man being boiled, but struggling for the sake of his friends and motherland. Next up, we have the moment where Luffy declared war on the world government. Robin is captured by the world government and is to be executed. Even after Spandam points out that taking in Robin means making the entire world his enemy, Luffy tells Sogeking to shoot the world government flag. Sogeking uses his Firebird star to burn the flag, declaring war on the world government for Robin's sake. Robin, moved by the depth of Luffy's actions, finally takes a stand against Spandam and declares that she wants to live and wants to return to the sea with the Straw Hats. Here, Luffy shows how much he cares for his friends. On number 2, I would put the scene where Zoro takes all of Luffy's pain. When Kuma captures a worn-off Luffy, Zoro offers up his own life to Kuma. Zoro says his bounty may not be as high as Luffy's, but he is willing to give up his dream to become the world's greatest swordsman in exchange. Kuma says that Zoro must take all of Luffy's pain if he really does want to take his place, saying that the experience will kill Zoro, as he is close to death. Kuma uses his powers to repel all of the pain out of Luffy into a large, red mass of air. Even a small sample is enough to put Zoro on the ground, but he gets up and then sticks his arms into the giant mass of pain. Luffy gets up acting well and says his body feels like new. Zoro luckily survives. Sanji reaches Zoro and notices blood everywhere and asks him what happened. Zoro, covered head to toe in blood, says nothing happened. This moment is so cool. We see how much Zoro cares for Luffy and that he was willing to let go of his life and dream of being the best swordsman in the world. The most iconic and legendary scene in my eyes is Ace's death. Portugas D. Ace is the sworn brother of Luffy and Sabo. He joined the Whitebeard Pirates and was the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. He was part of the effort by Whitebeard to destroy Marineford, the Marine base. When Whitebeard aims to take down the whole of Marineford and orders his crew and the other pirates to flee, Ace gives his final, grateful farewell to his captain before trying to escape as well. Akainu tauntingly mocks Whitebeard, and Ace tries to take him on to defend his honor. But it is quickly apparent that Ace is outmatched. Akainu aims to land a fatal blow on the now exhausted Luffy. Ace takes the hit for his younger brother instead. Ace is punched by a magma fist through the back by Admiral Akainu and falls into Luffy's arms. Akainu continues to attack Luffy, but Jinbei intervenes and saves the young pirate. Just as Ace dies, he thanks Luffy for everything and everyone for loving him. Luffy is then seen crying over the loss of his brother. It was a very emotional scene, and the death of an older brother shook even the most usually jolly Luffy to his core. And this is our list of the top 10 legendary One Piece moments. If you like this video, kindly like and subscribe. One Piece is filled with iconic moments, and it was hard to pick this list. Still, if you think we missed a moment or a scene that you think should have been on the list, do let us know in the comments. Stay tuned to see more videos like this, and we will see you with a new video.